There is a lot of potential for the future of Amphoreus. With the fall of Iron Tomb and the freeing of our beloved Chrysos Heirs from their samsara of death, they now exist in a state of limbo, induced by Cyrene's sacrifice. But deep down, we all know that this is not the end. In fact, the game tells us this by a question mark being placed at the end of the story. So hope is very much alive that characters like Cypher, Mighty, and Aglaia will embrace the future, breaking out of shades from the past. And those lyrics have never been more true. But what will become of our friends once they do become real? And what will their lives be? What paths will they follow? And what factions will they join? That is the question of tomorrow that I will aim to answer today. So in this video, I would like to potentially start a series called What Will They Become Tomorrow? A grand series analyzing each and every single Chrysos Heir demigod to speculate on what they will do once they become real people. So I hope you join me on this journey in an attempt to predict the future, because this is the untold futures of the Chrysos Heirs revealed. But first, in my Discord, Nova Impact Genius Society, now called the Tavern of Elation, I held my own version of the Phantom Moon games where the winner becomes me. But there was a special prize, and this prize was a special video that I would have to make. Kinda like you become me and then make a video. And this video is a special request from that lucky winner. So if you want a chance to enjoy such privileges, join my Discord and look out for events, because we got big things coming up. Account reviews, more viewer polls, a potential collab in the future. Big things are happening. Get hyped. On to the video. Okay. So as per the video request, none other than our demigod of the sky, Hyacine, will be our first subject. And in my opinion, there is a lot of potential for this character. She is educated, headstrong, determined, and has the mental fortitude of someone far beyond her years. Able to witness death on a regular basis with an undying and almost superhuman ability to continue smiling with optimism. And the source of her inner strength finds its origin in her dedication to protecting those around her. She was created to mirror the path of preservation after all. So we know that if Hyacine were to come to life, she would pursue a career in the medical field. But what makes her different from characters who are traditional medics like Natasha or Jiaoqiu is the fact that she has a memo sprite, little Ika, who would come to life with her and would remain as her memo sprite, which would give Hyacine a connection to the path of remembrance. And putting this all together and considering her personality and intelligence, and yes, she is smart, she was Anaxa's teaching assistant, which is a feat in and of itself, she would be a double path strider of preservation and remembrance, which already puts her in high demand because there is no remembrance faction that heals people. And her innate connection to the preservation would instantly put her on the IPC's radar. But there is no school in the Intelligentsia Guild that involves healing or medical research, so luckily rest assured I can't see her joining the IPC. Fun fact, Hyacine says that she studied psychology, which means that the psychology history school would be a good place for her, but they went bankrupt. They literally got rid of the one school that would suit her. And now it is a school of IPC scammers. That's not even a joke, that is literally the description. Just wanted to mention that. But there are two places that I can see her fitting in nicely: Plain Arcadia and the Shinjo Alliance. Now, the Shinjo explanation is complicated, so let's save that for later, but in Plain Arcadia, Hyacine could pursue her hobby of streaming. Yes, remember her trailer, she wants to be a streamer, but she was having a hard time getting started. But with the widely known book, the Trailblazers, who already are famous in Plain Arcadia, have been spreading around the cosmos this entire time, the people of Plain Arcadia would likely see Hyacine as a person stepped straight out of a storybook, because, well, she is. She's one of the Chrysos Heirs that literally everyone has been reading about, which would lead to a massive spike in popularity, and Hyacine would rather easily have a prosperous career as a comfort streamer or as an online therapist.
Medicine has its limits. Even if healers try our best, We can't cure everything. That's why I also studied nursing and psychological therapy, because healing a heart is as important as healing a body in this doomed world.
Something that would make use of her mental fortitude and her bottomless compassion. So that is the easy answer that would be accurate according to her interests. But there is one more thing that she could do. Something that would break everything we know about the Shinjo Alliance in half. Curing the Mara. Now, we know full well that in a faction that is always waging war like the Shinjo is in constant need of medical expertise, especially with their hatred of all things abundance. So that's already chopping down a ton of their options. So with Hyacine being a healer with connections to remembrance, she falls perfectly into this little niche that they are looking for. Because we know that the Shinjo isn't opposed to working with other factions. They already ally closely with Erudition through their divination practices, the Trailblazers of course through the Trailblazers of the Astral Express, and have a tentative relationship with the Preservation through the IPC. So personally, I don't see a reason for them to be opposed to the techniques of the Remembrance. It would likely be a welcomed new perspective, a new perspective that might be just what they are looking for in every possible way. Because we know that the Mara is the leading cause of chaos on the Shinjo. It is a terminal illness that strikes all Shinjo natives at a precise point in their lives. They even have it down to a science, with 800 being the average point that most Shinjo natives begin to suffer from the Mara, and this statistic is 80% accurate, with trauma associated with war only accelerating the degenerative effects of the Mara. Now, the true cause of the Mara is unknown, but there are theories on what the source of this is, with doctors believing that the source of this illness being the buildup of memories, because even though their bodies are immortal, their minds are not. So as time goes on, the most vivid memories in a person's mind become the most negative ones due to trauma being what the mind naturally holds on to. An example of this being, you can probably remember vividly that embarrassing thing you did when you were 5, but you probably can't remember your 5th birthday. So over time, a person develops a psyche that torments them due to a buildup of negative memories, leading to the madness we see in Blade and Jingliu. But follow me here, because this is where things get interesting. Kafka is someone we know can snap Blade out of his state of madness.
All of you listen to me. Stop. Well, Blady, are you satisfied?
Someone we now know has the ability to seal memories in a person's head to even stop cremators from tampering with them. So there is some evidence to this madness portion of the Mara being tied to this traumatic memory buildup. In comes Hyacine, a medic with ties to the path of memories, remembrance. So who's to say that with the right amount of research, Hyacine can't figure out how to seal enough memories in a person's mind to keep them balanced out, alleviating the madness caused by the Mara, and potentially curing the Mara entirely? I think she can. Her natural optimism and compassion in the face of utter chaos and destruction is perfect for this exact task. And because of her teaching experience, she could lead an entire faction of healers into creating an entire force of Mara curing healers. This would change everything we know about the Shinjo and lead these people into an entirely new age, finally free from their plight. They might even stop fighting the abundance, because what would be the point? I mean, they definitely wouldn't stop fighting, the hunt never ends, but the Mara and the Ambrosial Arbor is the entire point of their war in the first place. Curing the Mara, or even hindering it in some major way, results in a huge victory for the Shinjo Alliance. A victory won off of the existence of Hyacine. So in the end, we have two possible futures for our demigod of the sky: a streamer in Plain Arcadia, or the missing link that the Shinjo needs. Both of these results in helping lots of people, which is something I'm sure Hyacine would love to do, and both of these futures are attuned to her experiences and what we know about her, what she likes, and her abilities. So yes, when you get into it, there is a lot of potential for these Chrysos Heirs post Amphoreus. I could get into how she could potentially join the IPC since she is preservation and create a new school in the Intelligentsia Guild for healing and stuff, but I can't see her will aligning with the IPC. She's too good-natured to endure seeing people suffer, which is something the IPC is all about. Yes, that is my bias, but that is just the IPC, I'm sorry. There would just be a fallout and it just wouldn't be pretty. So if she did join the IPC, I can't see her staying for very long, resulting in these two futures being all that I can think of. Because this is the untold futures of the Chrysos Heirs revealed. So, what do you guys think? Pretty interesting, right? I personally believe that every single one of the Chrysos Heirs have huge potential for when they come to life. Instead of potential man, it's more like potential world. Because even if they don't have their demigod powers, which they might retain post Amphoreus, the Titans are just Aeon stand-ins after all, just what they know and who they are will have a huge impact on the cosmos. An era nova impact, if you will. So who do you guys want me to analyze next? I am open to suggestions, and please let me know if you can see any other possible futures for little Miss Hyacine, because I could have missed some things. Personally, I really like the Shanjo Mara curing future with a side hustle and streaming. Who says she can't do both? What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.